We welcome you back inside Braemar Arena, getting set for puck drop here on senior night between the Bison and the Edina Hornets. Hi again, everybody. Once again, John Sands sitting to my right. I'm Patrick Lovia. It's a pleasure to be back inside Braemar Arena as the Hornets looking to get a big victory here on Saturday night.
Get a big victory for these seniors, send them out on top here for one of their last times playing at Braemar Arena, at least during the regular season.
Talk about that throughout the night. They've dimmed the lights. We are ready for action.
And once again, we talk about it. When you see this Edina team, it's the familiar white jerseys and green breezers for Edina tonight. You can always tell when they're in the house, they either have green and green or green on or white on green. It's a tradition that never gets old.
Sure does not. Jimmy Clark will take the face-off for Edina against Tyler Braccini, and we are underway as it's controlled and knocked down in the circle, sent down toward the near side, swept into the Hornet zone. It'll work its way around the net up toward the far side where Jake Boltman trying to get the play cut off. Hornets whip it around back toward the near side. A little bit too far for Willie Johnson. It'll go deep into the Buffalo zone. It's pushed along behind by Lake and Gunya up toward the far side point. Then over to Nick Williams on the near side. Williams tried to get it down low, and then a shot that was tipped wide of the net. Another shot that goes up and out of play with 16:27 to go, first period. No score, Bison and Hornets from Braemar.
Early on here, Edina trying to set their tempo, set the pace a little bit. It looks like Edina wants to try to play a little bit more up-tempo style play tonight.
The Bison play the face-off around their own net toward the near side. The drive from the point by Wyatt Worst to send up out of play. 16:17 to go in this first period. No score. Doubleheader tonight on MN Hockey TV. Also streaming Minnetonka, Eden Prairie with Pete and Bart. Here at Braemar, you've got Patrick and John.
We got the A-team over here at Braemar.
The face-off will come deep in the Buffalo zone as DeVoe pushes the face-off down toward the near side. DeVoe fighting his way through Tyler Braccini around the net as it's played up into the far side corner. As DeVoe able to push it along to Gunnar Johnson at the point. Johnson slides it down to the near side. It's intercepted by the Bison, played into the Edina zone. As Dane Wotari will send it back into the neutral zone for the Bison. Mark Overman has it knocked off his stick as he's collided with. Wotari at the red line will send it up toward the far side. Toward Jordan Zelenak. Zelenak gets it down toward the near side. Comes into the offensive zone, just intercepted out front as one of the Bison is hurt and lying on his stomach. And then one of the officials also got bowled over on the near side. Hoping that Ryan Rethke is okay. He's on his knees. He's got his stick up over his head. He's helped to his skates by some of his teammates and will help him toward the bench. 15:35 to go, first period. We're going to get a penalty coming out of that against Edina as their penalty box door has been opened.
It was a hit high. That's what caused them to go down. So, I mean, they give them 2 minutes, but we'll see if it's a 2 and a 10 or just a 2. Because it was a little high.
Nolan Williams will head into the box.
Edina's number 21, Nolan Williams. 2 minutes for head contact and a 10-minute.
It is a 2 and 10 as it was ruled head contact. So the Bison on the power play, 12.3 on the season. Edina killing off penalties at 86.4. Face off to the left of Loudon Hogue. Tyler Braccini will take the face-off against Grant Morton. And now we're going to have another. We are finally ready to drop the puck once again.
Yeah, they got to have that person serve the 2-minute penalty.
A quick shot just wide of the net by Jake Braccini off the face-off. He comes back to behind the goal line. Cycles back and then tipped away. Here's Morton through the neutral zone. Morton ripping a shot wide of the net. So it plays its way up into the far side corner as Morton is pushed hard into the boards. And the Bison back with Jake Braccini through neutral. Braccini working his way into the offensive zone. Sends it far side circle and then a shot through the blue by Tyler Braccini as it comes back to the high in the slot. Another shot that's knocked down. Comes into the near side corner as Hubner was thinking about chasing after it. It's a shot through traffic. It's loose in front and able to be cleared by the Hornets. Jake Boltman sends it the length of the ice. The Bison working their way back through neutral. 53 seconds to go on the power play. It's taken away by Jimmy Clark. Clark, though, has it knocked away as he gained the offensive zone. Flipped back out to neutral as Huotari drops it back into the Bison zone. Now through neutral into the Edina zone. And cleared once again by the Hornets. A nice job by Gunnar Johnson. Bison trying to set up from their own end as they're unable to slow this one down, and that'll be an icing. 26 seconds to go on the power play, 14 minutes. 3 minutes gone here in the first period.
3 minutes, and it's been back and forth. It doesn't feel like either team is really taking control yet of this thing. It's still good. It's still up for grabs. So we'll see how this plays out with an abbreviated short time now.
Noah Mueller playing it back up toward the near side, setting up behind the net. The Bison through neutral. There's Mueller with a shot saved by Hogue up into the corner. The Bison will play it around the net, back toward the near side. He's back to Simonitz on the near side. Huotari to the blue line. Over to Huotari again, and he whiffs on the one-timer. The power play comes to an end. We're back out at neutral ice. Nate Stone runs it into the slot for a shot and a save by Jack Ryden with 13:24 to go here in the first period. No score, Edina killing off an early penalty. Face-off will be to the left of Ryden. 13:24 to go, first period. Saturday night at Braemar Arena.
I don't know of any other place, a better place I'd rather spend a Saturday night.
Absolutely, and the beauty is, of course, we'll get one more next Saturday night as the Hornets will host Minnetonka.
That's going to draw a big crowd. If you're going to come to that one, get here early, and because this place is going to be packed.
A hand pass called here on Buffalo, so that'll send it deep into the Bison zone. 12:55 to go here in the first period. No score so far as the Bison had a couple of good looks offensively, but nothing doing. Hogue able to make a couple of nice saves. They get it to Overman. Overman tied up from behind. Played back through the neutral zone.
Yeah, it looked like there Overman got drugged down behind the play. No penalty. They're going to play on here.
Jake Braccini with a shot as Hogue able to make the save, kick it up into his glove, and we'll have a face-off. 12:34 to go here, first period, and no score.
It's going to, right? We keep saying it's back and forth, back and forth. Buffalo spending a little bit more time here now, not able to capitalize on their power play, though, they had.
It's able to be worked into the neutral zone by Cole Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh will play it in deep to the Buffalo zone. It works its way up toward the far side boards. The play is tied up there, and it'll drop back to Gunnar Johnson at the point. Johnson slides it over to Wyatt Worst on the near side. He takes a shot, and we'll have a whistle with 12:14 to go in this first period.
This one, right now, Patrick has the look, makings and feel of a first person to score is going to win this thing.
Emmett Worst waiting to take the face off. He's able to win it as he drops it back to Wyatt Worst. Wyatt Worst with a shot that's blocked. As Emmett Worst plays it back behind the net. The Bison gain control behind the cage, get it into the neutral zone where it's cut off by Wyatt Worst. He drops it down toward the near side, and the Hornets change. A little over 5 minutes gone here in the first period. He played back into the neutral zone. Banked off the near side boards and flipped in deep by Jordan Zelenak. Played up for the far side. Hubner can't slow it down. Out in the neutral zone where the Bison will try to play it back in. As Jimmy Clark starting his way up ice. He's able to get through Michael Tweeton, but then the Bison send it back into the neutral zone and bank it into the Edina end.
And Jimmy Clark right there showing you why he's touted as one of the better underclassmen as a freshman in the state. They're able to show you his speed and put on some stick handling moves there too.
Nick Williams on the left wing in the offensive zone as he tried to get it down low, but it was taken away by the Bison along the near side, then sent back around through the corner. Gunia behind the net with it. He tried to stretch it, but he couldn't clear it. It's intercepted by Willie Johnson. They tried to get it back to Emmett Worth, but it was out of his reach as it's played up toward the far side. As Johnson trying to play it back behind the net, but it's cut off. And now is sent back behind the net to the near side. As Nick Williams trying to get it down low. There's a shot from Jimmy Clark, and that's held on to with 10:32 to go here in the first period. No score.
You know, one thing I've noticed in this game that they're not doing that they did well in the St. Michael game was Edina did really well getting the back door open and capitalizing on chances there. They haven't really looked at it. They're not really setting it up, so I don't know if it's might not be in the game plan tonight or if it's just early on and they still having that feeling out process.
10.5 minutes to go, first period, no score. Buffalo and Edina, they almost got it out front for Overman. It was out of his reach. Jake Boltman pinching up to keep it in the corner. Now sent back to Boltman. Boltman wound up for a blast, didn't get a lot on it. It's loose in front and covered up by Jack Ryden with 10:13 to go here in the first period.
Yeah, and now, you know, you look here, this is about the size of a crowd you'd see for Edina Minnetonka, fans filing in, youth hockey players sitting on that far side in the corner there, and the band's in the house. That's how you know it's a big game.
The O'Connor tournament also going on this weekend here at Braemar Arena. As here come the Bison. Here's Jake Bracchini in. Bracchini drops it off for a one-time blast, and that goes wide. As Wotari just shot it high and wide to the net on the one-timer. Bracchini up in the far corner. Turnaround shot saved by Hogue. Hogue able to dive on top of the carom as Buffalo pushing for that first goal.
And you talked about that O'Connor tournament, and I believe that there's some hockey tomorrow. Here, I could be wrong, but I think there's this company that's broadcasting those games. I think it's mnhockey.tv, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you and I might be there tomorrow for quite a while.
Yeah, so, you know, we talked about the youth hockey coming up. We got all the Edina Hockey Association stuff tomorrow. Pretty much, I think, starting at noon or 1 or whatever and going pretty much all night. We'll have youth hockey for you here from Braemar on this rink and the South rink.
John and I and Pete will bring all the action for you. That starts tomorrow, I think late morning, but we'll get official times if that's something that interests you to see the Stars of tomorrow. Off the face-off, controlled by Edina. Wyatt Worth will ring it around up toward the far side. Good job here as Grant Morton was unable to get it on his stick. Buffalo doing a good job of holding it in the Hornet zone. Trying to take it away behind the net was Zelenak, and the Hornets able to get it out to neutral where the Bison will reset, but then it's intercepted at the red line by Kavanaugh. Hornets having to go back in their own zone as it's threaded through by Gunnar Johnson. Icing waved off. Jake Bracchini will start from deep in his own end. The pass is tipped in from the red line. In the far side corner, Hornets setting up behind their own net. Jimmy Clark dropping it to Wyatt Wurst. Wurst along the near side, playing it in deep to the Buffalo zone. Riding out of his net to slow it down. Bison setting up from deep in their own zone. 8:42 to go here in the first period as the Hornets looking to generate a mistake in the Buffalo zone as it is sent out to neutral ice, and then Clark able to bring it back in and taken right back out again. It's poked ahead into the offensive zone for a shot by Hubner. That was saved by Hogue, tipped down to the near side corner. Laid back out through neutral ice into the Buffalo zone as Gunia trying to track it down. He'll try to play it through the near side corner. Then a shot toward the net is sent the length of the ice. Jake Boltman will gather it in deep in his own end. He'll try a long pass. He gets it to Overman. Overman into the offensive zone. Overman with a shot saved by Wright, and rebound was blocked. That's able to be held on the back door initially by Overman. Now poked back out to neutral. As Bracchini tried to get the one-timer, Jake to Tyler. Tyler whiffed on it, sent it down into the near side corner. Overman quickly back into the offensive zone. Overman with a shot save, rebound. Swept away up to the far side boards. Back out to the red line. As DeVoe will try to play it back in deep. He pushes it on. Ryden, who holds on with 7:28 to go here in the first period.
Yeah. You know, we're doing the live scoring side of things, and so we have a lot of options, audio, video stuff like we're doing, live scoring stuff, So this is just great to see how far even just us and how far even here has come since people might remember when we used to be up above the scoreboard behind the one net.
Well, Bart Archer has a lot of fun stories about that. And it's tipped in deep to the Edina zone. Hogue able to slow it down. It's sent up to Wyatt Wurst. Wurst gets it to Morton, who tips it into the offensive zone. 6:55 to go, first period. No score. It's intercepted by Clark. Clark tried to get it on the back door to Willie Johnson, and it was tipped away. Edina still with it. Clark, another shot, and a save by Wright, and it comes down to the near side corner. Buffalo breaks through neutral. It's played into the offensive zone by Turner Marr. Then Jackson Borst working his way back up the right wing, drops it down to the near side, sent in deep by Emmett Wurst. Ryden was trying to slow it down behind his own net. Intercepted on the clear attempt by Jimmy Clark. But the Bison able to take it back, get it out through neutral, send it in deep to the Edina zone, down to the end boards where it's tipped into the corner. The Edina will grab it in their own zone. Flipped in deep by Willie Johnson. Ben Simonitz will set up behind his own net. And an icing call here as his pass out of the reach of Hubner with 5:48 to go in the period.
I'm going to steal a line from Bart Archer here, the great Bart Archer. And it's been a little bit of some fire wagon hockey going on here. Back and forth, fast-paced action. See if they can keep up, but it's hard to keep that pace up for an entire game, though.
It absolutely is, as a shot through traffic by Wyatt Wurst is blocked. Overman up in the far side corner trying to get to it first. It's tied up there. Poked back through the corner behind the net, down toward the near side. 5.5 minutes to go here in the first period as it's sent back up toward the far side. Puck poked to Gunnar Johnson. Johnson with a shot through traffic, and that's held on to by Jack Ryden. With 5:17 to go here in the first period and no score.
That physicality, a little extracurricular stuff after the whistle now starting to pick up too. And it's gonna start. We're gonna start seeing who's gonna assess their their style of play here. And early on, it's looking like Edina, but you never know.
Emmett Worth will take the face-off for Edina against Jordan Zelenak. Buffalo wins the face-off. They're able to send it into the Edina zone. Johnson behind his own net. Bank it off the glass into the neutral zone. It's pushed in here by Morton. It comes down to the near side. We're going to whistle with 4:59 to go in the period.
Hit off the roof here and bounced down. I remember another deal going way back when it was always used to be fun to come in here and see all the holes and all the pucks that would get lost into the ceiling. Now with the new roof on it, they don't poke in anymore. It just bounces off.
Well, that's no fun. Well, maybe it is. It is fun for the arena staff, I suppose.
Yep, they don't have to do much work after the games now to get pucks down.
Loose in front, they score! Cole Kavanaugh off the centering feed, and Edina leading 1-0. For Kavanaugh, that's his third of the season. And coming at the 12:06 mark of the first period.
I would say let's take it to the replay, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we do not have that ability here tonight.
Cole Kavanaugh with his third goal of the season, and Edina strikes first here in the later middle stages of the first period. It's pushed into the offensive zone by Borst as he tries to drive toward the net. Net gets knocked off, and we'll have a whistle. With 4:46 to go, as now players getting a little bit hot with each other. So Morton and Worst picking up the assists on the Kavanaugh goal. The 12:06 mark of the first period.
And I believe he said Emmett, or did he say Wyatt Worst on that one?
I think I would have been Emmett on the ice for that line. Like, I've been wrong before.
Haven't we all? It's good. It's good to see now. Good to see that. We'll see if Edina can capitalize on this with a 1-0 lead early on here.
One thing I've learned about this industry, it's not about the mistakes you make, it's how you recover from them.
Yes.
As Buffalo able to get it out into the neutral zone. Quickly carried in here by Bracchini. Bracchini throws it toward the net, and Hogue able to cover it up. Jake Bracchini, as now we're going to get some more pushing and shoving as Edina did not like. Tyler Bracchini poking that puck out of Loudon Hogue's glove after the whistle, with they're still pushing and shoving, and now we have players on the ice. And now things mostly appear to be under control. Now we have a linesman who's tackled one of the players on the pile. Oh, Fracas breaking out here in the first period with 4:35 to go.
And we'll see if they're gonna give penalties or if they're gonna escort some players off the ice.
It looks like Tyler Bracchini will get the first penalty. Jimmy Clark will be joining him in the penalty box.
And we'll see how long they're going to go for it, too. They could be double minors. They could just do 5 minutes. We'll see what they call here. It's going to be interesting to find out. It's like an NHL scrum down there. Just everyone going after each other. Refs getting knocked down.
It was wild, and that all started. Jake Bracchini came in for a shot that was covered up by Hogue. Tyler Bracchini came in after the whistle, poked the puck out of under Hogue's glove, and that's what started the fracas.
Yep, and I mean, so I was a goalie. That's the one thing you don't do. And that's the one penalty that a coach and a player doesn't mind taking, is standing up for your goalie. You don't do that stuff. That's how people get hurt.
You can see tempers kind of starting to heat up a little bit as the first period has moved along. There was the scrum a couple minutes ago at the Buffalo end following the net getting knocked off, and you can kind of tell that things were starting to flare up a little bit.
So they're calling other players over to the box, so it's got to be more than just a simple 2-minute minor penalty here.
Cole Cavanaugh with his third goal of the year from Emmett Worst and Overman here in this first period. 4:35 to go in the opening frame.
They haven't put anything up, so it's looking like it's going to be coincidental minor penalties. It's just a matter of, are they 2-minute penalties or are they 5-minute penalties?
We'll have to wait for the official decision on that one.
And I'm sure Pat Milan will let us know here as soon as he gets it all sorted out down there in the penalty box, what's going on, how long everything is, and who's all down for what. They're going to give another penalty, a decent additional 2-minute penalty to Buffalo, though.
Perhaps the right call, as the Bison did get that fracas started with the puck poked out from under Hoag's glove. So I don't think much you can argue about if you're Buffalo.
And I would assume that's probably going to go down as a slashing penalty. So it will be it looks like it will be a 2-minute power play for Edina. As we're trying to get everything, even though penalty box people are still trying to figure out what's going on here. And the Buffalo coach is over there. He's trying to say, why are we penalized being short of skater? But they're the one that started it with the after the whistle slash of the goalie after he had it covered up.
So Edina will go on their second power play.
And now another discussion. We'll get this thing sorted out here. We're trying to guess as much as anyone. I would assume it's probably going to be roughing penalties though, but I mean there was some hands up into the face there, so maybe they'll call. But in high school, if you call fighting, you got to eject again. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming they're not going to call fighting. They're just going to go each roughing penalties and just get it done with. Give Buffalo the extra guy in the box who's got that 2-minute penalty to serve. So should be 3 in the box for Buffalo, 2 on this side for Edina.
Now the Edina coaches will hear their side of the explanation.
Now, I don't think you can 100% say that both coaches are satisfied.
We are back underway. The Edina with a power play in the offensive zone. Nick Williams slides it back over to the near side for a one-time blast, sent up out of play from Boltman.
Buffalo's number 8, Tyler Bersini, a double minor for roughing.
1:47 in the Edina power play, 4:21 first period. 1-0 Hornets leading it, the third of the year for Cole Cavanaugh. Boltman with it. Boltman working his way in, drops it down low for a shot saved by Ryden. Hornets carry it back toward the far side. Wyatt Worst toward Overman. Overman to Williams. Boltman on the near side. Boltman with a shot saved. They score! It must have slid through the 5-hole of Ryden as everybody just stood there looking at the play, and then everybody went nuts. And it's 2-0 Edina. That's a power play goal. And they're going to give it to Willie Johnson. That's his 4th goal of the season.
And I mean, I think we finally figured out what they called, it sounded like they called a roughing and then a double minor for roughing on that. So sounds like it was all the same guy though. So I still don't know what's going on. Neither do the Buffalo coaches.
You know, the
Scoring for Edina on the power play, number 18, Willie Johnson. With the first assist to number 2, Jake Boltman. And the second assist to number 7, Nick Williams. Johnson from Boltman and Williams. It's a power play goal for the Hornets. Time of the goal.
with Johnson as his 4th of the season.
Of the first period.
Boltman took the shot, and I think the Buffalo bench probably wanting to know why that wasn't whistled dead. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay available, so I'm not even really sure how that puck ended up in the net, admittedly. But we are back at full strength after the power play goal by Edina. It's played into the Buffalo zone. 3:42 to go, first period. 2-0 Hornets leading it. It's played around the Bison net up toward the far side. The shot saved by Ryden from Rugamer. It'll have a face-off with 3:29 to go in the first period.
So watching it back, because we had the ability to at least rewind our stream on the YouTube, no one touches it. No one touches the puck. It just keeps going in. So it had to have been directly out the shot, and it's just one of those little ones that just keeps sneaking on through.
Gunnar Johnson with a Johnson shot through traffic was blocked. Sent up toward the far side. The Bison playing it through neutral, swept back toward the far side by Wyatt Wurst. And then in the Buffalo zone, taken away here by Emmett Wurst. Wurst drops it off to Morton for a shot saved by Ryden with 3:08 to go in the first period. So might end up with a scoring correction as Boltman took that initial shot. And that is at the far end of the ice, so it is a little tough from our vantage point to see.
But as of right now, it does stand as a Willie Johnson goal until we get told otherwise.
So for Johnson, that's his 4th of the year. On the end boards, Jackson Boris trying to dig it out. Slowly rolls along where it's gathered in by the Bison. They play it off the near side boards. Carried in and then losing it off his stick is Ryan Refke. Through neutral is Johnson. He tries to get it to the center of the ice and then just swept down toward the near side. 2:40 to go, first period. 2-0 Hornets. Johnson able to take it back. He gets it to Gunnar Johnson. He tries to slide it down low where it's tipped wide by Jackson Borst. Played around the net back toward the near side. Wyatt Wurst from the red line dumps it back in through the far side corner. Cleared through neutral where it's gathered back in by Boltman, who sends it near side for Nick Williams. Williams trying to work his way around Noah Mueller. Play getting tied up in the near side corner. And then sent in on Ryden, who holds on with 2:04 to go in the first period.
And back and forth here a little bit now that it's kind of the pace is opened back up a little bit, but you know it's still 2-0 now. Buffalo, you gotta just try to get into the locker room, make your point, say let's stay away from that extracurricular stuff and let's let Edina beat themselves.
It's loose in front of the net, and they will be played into the far side circle now up at the point. It comes back over toward Nick Williams on the near side. Williams has it played back into the neutral zone as Boltman sends it up into the Edina. Well, thought it went into the bench. The officials never stopped playing, so it must have hit off right off the wall.
It hit off the Edina orthodontics sign right over there. So, and then you know, Kurt Giles is saying the same thing to his guys. It's, they're going to keep playing physical, so don't get caught up in it. Let them beat themselves. Kind of the same message if you're Coach Johnson of Buffalo saying, let's play our style, play our game, and let the other team beat themselves.
Buffalo with it behind their own net. Trying to clear, they can't quite get it out. Able to be held in out front for a shot from Emmett Worth that was blocked. He's back to the point, sent cross ice. Back over to Wyatt Worth, his shot is blocked. 3-on-2 the other way for Buffalo. As Bracchini sends it far side. Trying to backhand it down low, but couldn't quite get it down to Turner Marr. The shot that's blocked from Bracchini. It's Cole Cavanaugh through neutral, sending it in deep to the Buffalo zone. 52 seconds to go here in the first period. 2-0, Edina leading it.
And for the first time in a while, Patrick, the boxes are empty down there.
Thank goodness, we had a long stretch of...
But just as I say that, there's a penalty on the play.
38.9 to go here in the first period. And we're going to get a tripping call going against Jackson Borst. So Buffalo will go on the power play. 12.3% on the season.
I believe it's their second of the game, too. Could be wrong, though.
I believe that is their second of the game.
Jackson Borst, 2 minutes for tripping. Borst for tripping. It's a 2-minute minor. Time of the
Bracchini controls the face-off with a shot that's blocked. In the near side corner, it was Tyler Bracchini with it, drops it back to Jake. And back over to Tyler on the near side. Tyler loses it off his stick. He gathers it back in. Tyler Bracchini one-time blast wide of the net. Edina able to clear at the length of the ice. 15 seconds to go in the period. 1:35 in the power play. As Jake Bracchini setting up behind his own net. Hard pass tipped in from the red line. 5 seconds in the period. Play tied up on the end boards as a centering feed intercepted out front by Nick Williams. That'll take us to the end of the first period. A very physical, tense first period. But Edina gets goals from Cole Cavanaugh, his third, and Willie Johnson officially his fourth. And we will go to the first intermission with Edina leading 2-0. Buffalo a minute 22 of power play when we start the second period. You're watching MN Hockey TV. Welcome you back inside Braemar Arena here in Edina as the Bison retaking the ice. Edina leading at 2-0 after the first period, the third goal of the year for Cole Kavanaugh, putting the Hornets ahead 1-0, and then the fourth of the year for Willie Johnson. Thought they might change that goal to Jake Boltman, but we have not gotten the confirmation on that, so right now it is Willie Johnson's goal. Checking out what's going on in the Lake Conference, Minnetonka leading Eden Prairie 2-1. That after two periods at Pagel Activities Center. We're going to talk about Wayzata falling to St. Cloud Cathedral in a wild game in St. Cloud earlier this afternoon. 7-6 in overtime. As Wayzata had a two-goal lead erased with a pair of power play goals from the Crusaders late. And Jack Smith and Blake Perbix combining to win it in overtime. A name that Minnesota hockey fans, or a duo we should say, that Minnesota hockey fans have gotten very familiar with. Those two led St. Cloud Cathedral to the Class A title last year, and why so many people think they will repeat in that capacity coming into this year. Along with John Sands, I'm Patrick Lilia. 2-0 Edina after the first period. 1:22 of power play for Buffalo to start the middle frame.
So I got a little clarification, but I still ended up a little bit confused too. There's two coincidental minors for roughing, and then a double minor for roughing. But what part I was a little confused about, if we remember back, there's only a 2-minute power play. If it's a double minor, it should be a 4-minute power play. But it's all in the past. We're just trying to clarify things up in case you were all at home were a little confused. There was essentially a double minor for roughing, and one of those was probably a coincidental, so that's why they only gave him 2 minutes. And then there's the two 2-minute roughings. So it's all straightened out now. Everyone's happy with it, I believe. At least as happy as they can be.
Spracchini trying to play the play the face-off around through the corner. 1 minute to go on the Buffalo power play. They whack at Loudon Hogue, and the Hornets able to clear. 52 seconds to go here now on the power play. 16:27 in the period. As Tyler Bracchini setting up deep in his own zone with it. Bracchini will work his way up ice. Drops it off to Joe Carruthers entering the offensive zone as he's hit, knocked off the puck. But able to work it behind the net. As Tyler Bracchini with a shot save. Hogue is able to sweep it away for another clear with 25 seconds in the power play. 16 minutes to go in the second period.
Yeah, the Bracchini brothers really working it here. They've had a couple of chances here on this power play, just not able to get anything past Loudon Hogue yet.
Puck delayed. And a penalty coming here against Edina. So we'll have 11 seconds of 5-on-3, excuse me, and then another Buffalo 5-on-4 after that. Jake Boltman with some words as he heads toward the penalty box.
They're going to call interference on Boltman. Here's a 5-on-3. It's abbreviated 5-on-3, but here's another chance, though, for Buffalo. Get that puck moving, get set up and try to pull one past Hogue here.
The minor penalty has been assessed to Edina's number 2, Jake Boltman. 2 minutes for interference. Boltman for interference.
15:49 to go, second period, 2-0 Edina.
Interference at 1:11.
Jake Bracchini controlling the face-off. Bracchini drops it over to the near side, and they try to get it down low. There's a shot saved by Hogue as it comes down to the near side. Bracchini able to hold. Bracchini sends it far side. It's Tyler Bracchini with a shot save. As a backhand centering feed sneak through up toward the far side. 1:40 now on the power play. Into the offensive zone. Here's Morton. Morton with a shot that was saved by Ryden as Buffalo looking to turn up the pace. They were trying to get it in the center for Joe Carruthers as it's cleared once again. Was Ryden trying to play it up the near side. Spun around at the red line was Ruski as it's played into the Edina zone. Ruski with a shot through traffic that goes wide. Played up to the far side. Back to Jake Bracchini as he tries to slide this one through, and that's just tipped wide.
Smart play there by Ryden to play it off the boards there. He had an Edina guy closing in quick on him.
The shot from Bracchini was blocked, as the Hornets will play it into the Buffalo bench. 54 seconds in the power play, 14:42 in the period. 2-0 Edina leading it.
So, it's almost like it's second verse, same as the first here. It's, Buffalo picking up a little aggressive style, but Edina leading here, trying to gain control here. They're trying to do it shorthanded right now, though.
Along the far side, Bracchini back with it. Bracchini plays it over to the near side for a shot, trying to slide it through. It's loose in front. They score! It's a power play goal, and the Bison are back in it 2-1. That's going to be Jake Bracchini. No, excuse me, it's Michael Tweeton with his second goal of the year. Able to push the rebound in. 2-1. 14:26 to go, second period.
That all started off with that puck movement. They got that puck moving, got that defense for Edina swinging over, and they were able to capitalize on it.
So the Bison able to come through on the power play, the extended power play, as Edina took a penalty near the end of the first power play. So basically 2 power plays back-to-back for Buffalo. Michael Tweeton able to cash in, as an icing here will bring it back into the Buffalo zone. Noah Mueller picking up the assist.
I think we're ending a little later than EP Minnetonka. That's a barn burner too. 2-1 in the third period over there from Pagel.
Nick Williams with a bouncing shot on net, held onto by Ryden. Got the big late conference game of the evening between those two rivals. The shot through traffic is blocked, played off the end boards. The Bison play it around toward the near side. Quick shot through traffic. That one got through to Ryden. He holds on. Boltman.
You talked about that late conference rivalries. Edina Minnetonka, EP Minnetonka. But they don't hold a candle to by far one of the biggest and best rivalries in high school sports in general, but especially in hockey up there, up north there with the Wool Road and Rosa when those two teams tangle together.
Absolutely, as it comes around the net, covered up again by Ryden, and those two teams playing twice in January. Rosa with a big comeback to knock off War Road the first time those two got together in Roseau. The shot out front is blocked. Played up through the far side corner. Hornets able to knock it down, getting it toward Overman. Overman drops it back to the point for a shot tipped over the net. It was down toward the near side, as Alex Beckman couldn't clear. Far side shot goes wide of the net. Just missing on the centering feed out front. Here's Beckman with it. He sends it far side for Hubner. Hubner will play it in deep to the Edina zone. Beckman behind the net. It's poked away as it comes down toward the near side. The centering feed out front. That goes off the stick of Tweeton. Back out into the neutral zone. It's banked into the Edina end as Gunnar Johnson will try to sweep it off ahead. He wasn't able to clear. Puck is loose in the slot. Bracchini tried to get it down low. There's a drive, and that'll go wide of the net. Overman in the corner. They'll play it around toward the near side. And it's taken back, and a shot by Bracchini, and what a save. Jake Bracchini had that loose puck come right to him. And Loudon Hogue able to make the big save with 12:38 to go here in the second period.
You know, Loudon Hogue right there showing you why he has that 197 goals against average this year, and showing you why he's what a lot of people might say are one of the favorites for next year's senior goalie of the year award.
Hornets carry it around their own net. They play it toward the far side. It'll go deep into the Buffalo zone, and that'll be an icing with 12:28 to go here in the second period. 2-1 Edina leading it, but Buffalo halving the deficit early in this second period. The second of the year, for Michael Tweeten.
And it's now going to be interesting to see what Kurt Giles says to get this team now that they've let up a goal. So sometimes you see it where they let in one and then they fall apart a little bit. But you got to imagine Kurt Giles is not going to have to say very much for his team to be fired back up to get that 2-goal lead right back to it.
Another face-off coming in the Edina zone. Along with John Sands, I'm Patrick Lilia. It's a pleasure to be with you from Braemar this evening. Face-off still loose in the dot, pushed up to the far side. Cleared into the neutral zone. Borst in. Borst trying to work his way around. He takes a shot off the side of the net. Borst was able to sneak this one through Steinmetz. Back up on the far side point. The drive, they score! Jake Boltman does get on the score sheet. He restores the 2-goal lead at 3-1.
That was just really good recognition there. Really good offensive zone recognition there. Able to see Boltman there. Been able to bury one too.
See, if it might have been deflected out front by Nick Williams. Williams, you kind of watch for the first guy to the bench. No, we'll wait for the official scorer. Edina back on top by 2, 3-1. Boltman taking that initial shot.
Scoring for Edina, number 18.
They're going to give it to Willie Johnson once again.
With the first assist to number 2, Jake.
Now, Willie Johnson has picked up a pair of goals that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how did he end up with those?
Johnson from Boltman.
Well, we're going to go with what the official scorer has, and now that's the second goal of the game for Willie Johnson. Has 5 on the season.
I wouldn't say anything but it was he knocked it in after the ref already signaled the goal, and then he put it in. So, nothing you can do though. That's what the official has. They can always change it later on though, afterwards.
The drive wide of the net as it's pushed ahead by Carruthers. Back out in the neutral zone, gathered back in by Emmett Worst, and we'll get a whistle with 11:18 to go here in the second period. 3-1 Edina, each team with a goal here in the second period. It'll be a center ice face-off. Tweeden takes it against DeVoe. It's controlled and sent in deep to the Edina zone. Nick Williams behind the net with it. Williams banking it off the near side boards, and that'll be an icing. 11:06 to go here in the second period. 3-1, Edina leading it. Willie Johnson has a pair of goals. 5 on the year for him. Cole Cavanaugh with his third, that opened the scoring. Michael Tweeden picking up his second for Buffalo. Nick Williams into the offensive zone. Williams trying to drive the net. It's loose in front. Gathered in by Beckman, but then sent back by Johnson as Buffalo able to poke it out to neutral ice, and we'll get another whistle with 10:48 to go here in the period. I'm not sure why they called that offside. It's like Overman was in the neutral zone when he gained control of the puck, but they blew it dead.
I noticed the ref was saying something to one of the players, and the Buffalo player was giving the cross, like I was getting cross-check side, so I wonder if that had something to do with the whistle.
Well, no penalty was assessed. Edina with it in the offensive zone. Turnaround shot, and that was saved at point blank from Borst as Clark got it down low. Boltman, Williams, the shot wide of the net, down toward the near side. Now in the neutral zone, it'll end up on the stick of Tyler Bracchini. Bracchini will drop it to Jake. Jake will get tied up on the end boards, and Clark comes away with the puck. Back out in the neutral zone, sent back in deep by Buffalo. It'll work its way behind the net. Hogue slows it down. Borst with it. He'll work his way up to the left wing. Borst still with it behind the net. Borst now banking it back toward the point where it's able to be held and then whiffed on. As through neutral is Hortari. Hortari carrying it into the offensive zone. He'll cycle it through the corner. The Hornets play it back toward the near side. Borst able to drive it deep into the Bison zone once again as he'll battle with Gunia behind the net. Clark able to come out with it as he tries to center it, but Williams got tied up in front. And with speed into the neutral zone is Tyler Bracchini. Bracchini will poke it ahead into the Edina end, where the Hornets will circle the net with it. This will be played in, touched up first, so no icing. As Steinmetz was trying to play it around. And Williams made that look more dangerous than it looked initially as he tried to bank it in off the goaltender Ryden.
Yeah, I mean, Edina's really picking it up here now in the second, doing what they want to do, the way they want to play, a little bit with a little bit of pace, but a lot more physicality.
They'll blow it dead off the face-off. 9:10 to go here in the second period. Minnetonka maintaining a 2-1 lead over Eden Prairie in the third period at Pagel Activity Center as it's sent deep into the Edina zone. With Wyatt Worst from the corner, he plays it ahead. It's pushed into the offensive zone by Williams. Over toward the near side, centering pass intercepted by Zelenak. Zelenak through neutral, tries to slide this one through. Zelenak, backhand shot goes wide of the net. Comes around toward the near side, and slides up to be held by Steinmetz. Bracchini going to get it down low. It's loose in front. It's back in the slot for a drive, and that was saved by Hogue. The Hornets carrying it into the neutral zone. Get it off for Williams, who will dump it into the near side. It's Emmett Worth trying to get it to Overman. It's intercepted, played to the far side. Worth had it knocked away as he tried to gain the blue line. Quickly, here's Hubner into the offensive zone. Hubner with a shot saved by Hogue, who holds on with 8:04 to go.
And I mean, you said EP is trailing right now. That would throw a wrench into the Lake Conference and even the top 10 right now. I think most people would think that EP is the #1 team in the state, outside of Andover. I mean, you know, Andover's hanging their own, but EP is probably played by far the tougher of the two schedules.
Absolutely. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to watch as we go forward into sectionals. On the far side, Tweeten trying to get it ahead for Hubner. Is Edina able to regain possession? DeVoe carries it in along the near side. DeVoe will play it to the end boards as he slips. Slipped on his own as Overman comes away with the puck. Boltman going to get it down low as it's past DeVoe, and it'll work its way up back up to the far side boards. Here's Gunia. Gunia poking it out through neutral. It'll go deep into the Edina zone. As Hogue sweeps it over to the near side. Borst at neutral. It's dumped in deep by the Hornets. 7:10 to go here in the second period. As Carruthers will leave it behind the net for Gunia. Gunia trying to bank it ahead into the offensive zone. Here is Wotari as it comes in on Hogue, and he covers up.
You know, right there, good neutral zone recognition there by Buffalo, extending that Edina defense, making them commit to one side and leaving the other side open for a shot, but an easy save there by Loudon Hogue.
6:58 to go here in the second period. 3-1 Edina. Willie Johnson has a pair of goals for the Hornets. Cole Kavanaugh has one as well. Michael Tweeton has the Buffalo marker. The Hornets ring it around toward the near side. They'll get it through neutral ice. Here's Borst on the near side, but he came in offside.
And if that game holds up, we talked about it, EP atop the conference right now with 12 points. Right behind them, though, Minnetonka with 10. Even though Minnetonka would be 6-3, EP would only be 6-1.
Minnetonka looking to rebound from that frustrating loss to Lakeville North that they gave up 5 goals in the third period.
Yeah, that town down there, Lakeville, has pretty good rivalry too.
Yep, Lakeville South, Lakeville North, and we talked about that'll likely be the Section 1AA entree for everybody between those two with the state tournament trip on the line. We talked about some teams who might be trying to break up that dynamic, but
I give those teams credit because they do provide for that interesting talking point, but they don't play nearly the level of competition that Lakeville North and Lakeville South play.
Porcini with a shot through traffic wide of the net, and it was Jake Porcini. Under 6 minutes to go here in the second period. It's flipped into the Buffalo zone as the Hornets change. Carruthers from behind the net will send it off toward the far side. Gunia getting it ahead toward Jake Porcini. Porcini into the offensive zone as he winds up for a shot. The Hornets quickly carry it back out through neutral ice. Nice pass ahead for a shot. They score! Luke Rugemer with his first goal of the season. And Edina leads it 4-1.
Right there, that was good play there. They saw that back door open. Like I said, they needed to get going earlier. Rugemer right there, beneficiary, and buries it in the back of the net, and now it's 4-1.
Luke Rugemer giving Edina a 3-goal lead with 5:23 to go here in the second period.
Scoring for Edina, number 14, Luke Rugemer. With the assist to number 8, Gunnar Johnson. Rugemer from Johnson.
Loose in front with a shot. That was kicked out of the net. As Borst was bidding for a shot, and Wyatt Worst follows up with a goal. And Edina pouring it on here in the second period. It's 5-1.
This is the one thing Edina is really good at, especially here in the home ice, feeding up that crowd. You make a mistake and they capitalize on it, and they got the firepower, to capitalize on those mistakes when it shows up.
Timeout Buffalo. 5:02 to go second period. 5-1 Edina. Wyatt Worst with his third goal of the year, just moments after Luke Rugemer's first of the year, and the Hornets have broken it open, leading by 4.
To number 17, Jimmy Clark. Worst from Clark. Even strength for the Hornets. Time of the goal.
As Clark picks up the lone assist on the goal.
Timeout, Buffalo. Buffalo takes its timeout.
We'll have a moment. Let's talk again about the big week we have upcoming on MN Hockey TV Tuesday night. Benilde St. Margaret's against St. Louis Park. That doubleheader kicks off at 5 o'clock with junior varsity. Varsity at 7 o'clock. Same deal Thursday night against Eden Prairie as the Red Knights in a big non-sectional matchup. Again, JV at 5, varsity at 7. And then Saturday we close out the season with a big-time late conference doubleheader as Wayzata goes into the Eden Prairie Community Center to take on the Eagles at 3 o'clock. And then Minnetonka wraps up our regular season coverage against Edina at 7. That's Saturday night, Saturday, a week from today. 5:02 to go, second period. 5-1, Edina now leading it. They've broken this game open as it swelled from 3-1 to 5-1 in a matter of about 20 seconds. It's driven in deep. It'll circle the net off the stick of Morton. Morton pushes it toward the net, where it's poked away. Drop back toward Emmett Worst on the near side as he battles with Bracchini. It's intercepted. There's a shot that's tipped wide of the net as it came free to Borst. To Emmett Worst, Emmett Worst again with it on the near side as he drops it back to Boltman. Boltman over to Williams. The centering feed sneaks through down to the near side. As Wotari with it. Wotari trying to thread this one through as a couple of Edina players collide. They'll go into the Edina zone where the Hornets will work it right back out. As Rugemer plays it in along the near side. They'll come behind the net where Overman's trying to get the play tied up. Battle for it in the corner as Overman trying to push it along. It'll come back toward the near side. Gunnar Johnson initially was able to hold, but then it was sent back to the red line. Edina with it again from their own end, and this will go for icing with 3:36 to go here in the second period. 5-1 Hornets, 2 in the first, 3 in the second. Willie Johnson leading the way with a pair. There's Jake Bracchini with a shot wide of the net off the face-off. Drop back to the point where it's unable to be held. Willie Johnson in. Johnson with a shot save. Rebound comes into the near circle. There's Carruthers getting it into the neutral zone. Coming in offside is Jimmy Clark. And we'll have a face-off with 3:14 to go here in the second period.
And here comes the real test now for Buffalo. It's you got to keep your composure. You don't want to do anything stupid, especially now with it 5-1. It's just keep playing our way, keep playing our style. Don't do anything kind of stupid that'll get you an extra penalty now.
It's punched up out of play by Jake Bracchini, and we'll have a face-off with 3:02 to go here in the second period. Tyler Bracchini in the face-off circle. It's controlled by the Hornets in their own zone. Pass just a little bit out of reach of Borst, but slipping on the play was the defender Carruthers. Carruthers will touch up and get a penalty coming here against Carruthers. And Edina will head on the power play.
Yeah, you just got to stick a little low, knock the Edina player over, and he's going to go down 2 minutes for tripping.
2:47 to go, second period. 5-1, Edina leading it.
Penalty's been assessed to Buffalo's number 9, Joe Carruthers, 2 minutes for tripping. Carruthers for tripping, it's 2-minute minor.
Morton gets it to Overman.
13.
Overman sends it far side for Wyatt Worth with a shot through traffic, saved by Ryden. 1:48 in the power play, 2:34 in the period. Play to the end boards. Clear to back out into the neutral zone where Tweeten along the near side. Taken back by Edina, now behind their own net. As Johnson flips it into the corner. Rugemer will get tied up there. As Overman also down there trying to dig it out. It'll work for Morton behind the net. Morton drops it back to the point. Wyatt Worth with a shot through traffic. That one got through to Ryden. It bounced off of him, but he's able to pounce on it for a face-off here in the waning stages of the second period. 108 in the power play, 154 in the frame.
Good sprawling save there by Ryden, trying to good job keeping that puck out of the back of the net.
Face-off controlled by Edina is Williams. Taking it back now from Willie Johnson as they get it down to Clark. Timing was a little off, shot it wide of the net. Borst in the corner will play it back toward Boltman, who can't get his stick on it and can't hold the zone. As Nick Williams back with it in his own end. 1:30 in the period, 43 in the power play. It's played in deep by Clark, down to the near side. Clark able to block the clear attempt. One-time blast, loose in front of the net and just tipped wide. As we'll get a whistle with 1:14 in the period, 28 in the power play.
And now we're going to go to 4-on-4. There's a penalty away.
That's going to be 5-on-3.
Yep.
Another penalty called against the Bison with 28 seconds of 5-on-3.
The minor penalty has been assessed to Buffalo's number 27.
Jordan Zelenak.
2 minutes for cross-checking.
The cross-check call. The Bison unable to clear off the face-off. For a blast, that's knocked down in front. Puck is still loose. Able to be kicked back to Boltman. Boltman slides it down to Willie Johnson, who threads one through the blue. Under a minute to go in the period. Here's a drive save. Rebound. Score! Jackson Borst with a 5-on-3 power play goal. 6-1 Edina. As Borst increases his team leading total to 12. All Edina at Braemar this evening.
And you saw Rating get right up. Argue that he had it covered. Why didn't you blow your whistle right to the ref? To no avail. They are going to count the goal, and now it's a 5-goal lead.
50 seconds in the period. Still a minute 30 in the 5-on-4 is Morton on the drive with a save that comes down to the near side.
And the second assist to number 18, Willie Johnson. Borst from Bolton.
Again, the Hornets able to hold the zone as Morton shoots one wide. Rugemer trying to hold the play in the corner. Edina still able to hold the zone. 20 seconds in the period. The drive through traffic that's tipped up off the glass off of Ryden. Will be played past Rugemer through the near side corner. Bercini will be able to clear with 10 seconds to go in the frame. 5 seconds to go. And it'll be flipped in from the blue line by Wyatt Worth as the period comes to an end as Edina scores 4 times, including a late power play tally from Jackson Borst. And the Hornets will head to the second intermission up by 5, 6-1. 46 seconds of power play will remain for the hosts when we return. You're watching MN Hockey TV. We welcome you back inside Braemar Arena. 6-1 Edina after 2 periods. And they'll begin this third period with 46 seconds of power play time. Along with John Sands, I'm Patrick Lilly. It's a pleasure to be with you from Braemar this evening as we rapidly wind down to the end of our regular season, just a week away. Our coverage will close out from Braemar a week from tonight when Minnetonka takes on Edina. We've got plenty of big matchups this week. The Old St. Margaret's doubleheaders Tuesday against St. Louis Park, Thursday against Eden Prairie. And Eden Prairie closing out their regular season in a big Lake Conference tilt against Wayzata on Saturday afternoon. That'll all be on MN Hockey TV this week. You don't have to check your local listings. You can find us anywhere online.
Yeah. Check your local listings at the viewer guide at mnhockey.tv.
Check that. Make sure to.
Special thanks to the Edina High School band for being
Nick Williams working his way through neutral, carrying it into the offensive zone. Boltman back to Williams. They slide it down low, try to get it back door and sent up toward the far side. Willie Johnson with it. Johnson back to Boltman, is played over to Williams. They try to cycle it out front, and it's held on to with 16:28 to go here in regulation.
You know, that's that back door. One of those, on the power play though, one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your backdoor guy as the uncovered man. You want to leave one of the guys outside, kind of further out, because they're not really much of a danger to score from that far away.
10 seconds to go in the power play as it's played back into the neutral zone. It's Gunnar Johnson getting it toward Wyatt Worst as the Bison come back to full strength.
That was almost a well-timed hit with the door just getting closed just in time right before the hit. That could have been a guy in the box there on the hit.
That would have been something to see for sure as it comes down into the near side corner in the Buffalo zone. Stretched up off the far side boards as it'll be played back in by by Gunnar Johnson. Overman able to play it back in deep. 15:35 to go here in regulation. 6-1. Edina leading it. It will be taken away here by Emmett Worst. Worst is a shot tipped away. Worst drops it back to Nick Williams. Boltman able to hold the zone as he plays it through the corner behind the net. Is Colby with a shot, he scores! Grant Morton putting the Hornets on top 2-1. Colby would have been last year, wouldn't he?
Yes.
And, of course, putting together the biggest goal in Edina history, perhaps.
I would say so. One of them, at least.
One of them. You know, you can probably make an argument for a lot of different single goals, but maybe not many overtime winners in a championship game, although I can't scientifically speak for that fact. $14:50 to play here in regulation. It's now a 6-goal lead for Edina.
You talked about some of those big goals, and you just look. There's a lot of them. You got to look. You got to look at even some of those college games. Look at some of those Minnesota, North Dakota games. They have, I think, still to this day, recorded it in that game as the longest goal ever scored in college hockey. I don't remember who it was, but it's North Dakota guy sending it down in the Gopher goalie just couldn't quite play it. It went 5-hole on him, and it was from the opposite end of the ice. One of those like goalie goals, that you see sometimes happen.
I think a sectional race that might have just gotten really interesting over the week. It was loose in front and just tipped wide by Rugemer. 7AA as Grand Rapids knocks off 2 Metro Powers yesterday and today in White Bear Lake and Maple Grove. So Andover isn't going to have an easy ride in that section with the Thunderhawks, with Cloquet Esco Carleton, and of course, despite their erratic season, you can never count out Duluth East.
Yeah. So section 7 is Andover, Grand Rapids, Cloquet, Duluth East. You know, I wouldn't even count out Elk River Zimmerman either. They've had we saw them here during the Edina Holiday Tournament. They're not a half bad squad either.
No, just one of those teams that plays so many great teams. Had a chance to do a couple of their games at the Holiday Classic as they hung pretty tough with Rosemount.
And you look at that section though, like we're not going to try to get into it, but you look at just, you go overall record wise and stuff. It's the only section where the top 3 teams all have above 500 records. So that just shows you how competitive all those teams are with each other and within their conferences too, that only 3 teams have an above 500 record.
12:25 to go here in the third period. 7-1 Edina as Grant Morton with a goal here early in the third period, putting the Hornets on top by 6. Late into the neutral zone, sent in deep by Clark. The Bison will set up from deep in their own end. 5 minutes gone here in the third period.
And, you know, you brought up the section races and ones that got interesting. The one I'm actually kind of looking forward to is it's Section 4 Class A. That's Mahtomedi in the newly Minnesota State High School League. Gentry Academy Stars. They have St. Paul Johnson in there. So that's going to be another interesting one there, too.
Absolutely.
But obviously nothing beats Section 2 and Section 6 with all the Lake Conference ties in both sections. So those are going to be always dogfights in the semis and championships.
Oh, definitely. It's a 2-on-1 for Edina as Johnson was trying to slide this one over, was blocked out front. It's a shot wide of the net by Henry Steckman. Penalty coming here against the Bison. So the Hornets will go on a power play here with 11 minutes and counting in the third period.
And I mean, I think, don't we have, is it Edina? Edina doesn't play Wayzata again. They already played them twice.
Maybe Edina plays Wayzata this week.
They do?
On Thursday.
Here?
At the Pick.
Okay, so that could be another one where you could very well see that in the section finals. Just like the game tonight with EP and Minnetonka, you could see that in the section championship game too.
What a ride we're going to be in for.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing in particular about this season is you can just say there was really not one dominant team, because it seems every time we anoint a best team in the state, they get beat by somebody who you wouldn't really think of them getting beaten by.
Yeah, I mean, Andover's been probably the closest thing to it. They've been atop the number 1 team in the state for the longest time, in the most times, but still, it's like you said, they've been beat by teams that make you scratch your head. It's like, did they just really lose to that team?
The shot tipped wide of the net, 9:45 to go here in the final period. The centering feed out front, and puck ends up working its way through the slot.
But that's just the parody of the high school boys hockey this year, is anyone can beat anyone any given night.
Overman with a shot that was saved. He's back to Gunnar Johnson. Wyatt Worth with a shot saved and held on to with 9:20 to go, and now we get the tempers flaring again.
A little low blow shot by the goalie. I don't think that's going to be a penalty on him. Can't do that, even when you're frustrated with how things have gone.
Goaltender Ryden still out there, and they're going to send him off.
He got ejected. for butt. It's got to be a butt ending penalty.
Well, we will have a goalie change. It's coming into the game. Will be.
I think that's 30. That's Conan.
Jared Conan, yes.
Clock still runs here, obviously with running time.
Although I know if the delay gets long enough, they will stop it, but they haven't done that yet. I guess it's just kind of do it when you see it moment.
So the one Buffalo guy gets to go out on the drop of the puck. The other one has to serve the 2-minute.
Following penalties have been assessed to Buffalo's number 33, Jack Ryden. A 5-minute major for spearing and a game disqualification.
Oh, it was a spearing penalty. Good call there.
And a game disqualification.
Oh, Jack Ryden's night is over. A 5-minute major. Almost centered it for Nolan Williams out front. Williams dropping it back into the circle. With a shot out front that's blocked. Nick Williams got it back to the far side circle for a shot.
They signal goal.
A signal goal indeed, and that's a power play goal for the Hornets. And they lead by 7 at 8-1. That'll be Emmett Worst picking up the goal. He has 4 on the season. Seven minutes to play in the game, 4:11 in the major penalty and counting.
You know, we had the one big penalty so far that right here in this period, that spearing penalty, but it's kind of a little bit taken away from what was relatively, for the most part, a clean game for both teams.
It's Henry Steckman with a shot on goal, held on to 6.5 minutes to play. So Edina's got a couple of huge games coming up this week at Wayzata, home against Minnetonka. How do you think those are going to shake out, John?
It's you know, just when you think you can predict what's going to happen, it's like you said, anyone could beat anybody. It's always going to be tough with Edina and Wayzata, though. They always seem to bring out the best in each other. And obviously, the late conference, that big rivalry with Edina and Minnetonka, you just throw everything out the door on that one.
The Hornets adding on to their lead with 5:45 to, well, they'll face off in the Buffalo zone.
I'm going to say the team that scores most is going to win. Both of those games.
Bold move, Cotton. See what comes out of that.
Yep.
Enriquez drops it to the far side. A shot by Boltman played up into the netting. 5:20 to go in the game.
The one thing that's really impressed me, though, with kind of both teams, but you know, especially with the composure of Buffalo, is you sometimes get those teams where they get down and they start getting a little chippy and start doing some things, but you haven't really seen that out of Buffalo. It's just been physical play by both teams.
Shot by Enriquez is knocked down and covered up with 4:49 and counting to go.
Is Thursday on the road at Wayzata. The Hornets play Wayzata on Thursday at Wayzata. Game time 7 o'clock, and the Hornets are back home next Saturday night for their final regular season home game against.
So I don't think we're gonna have the Wayzata game for you, though.
Unfortunately.
But we'll bring you the Minnetonka game.
The Minnetonka game definitely will be here on MN Hockey TV. Big Saturday to close out our regular season. The shot tipped wide as they tried to get it down low to Kavanaugh. It'll end up loose in the neutral zone. But Wyatt Worst back to pick it up as Worst gets it over toward the near side. 3:58 to go here in regulation. 1:08 in the power play. And we're going to get more
penalties here now as it starts getting a little more physical after the play. And, you know, I'd like to encourage you all, if you're fans of hockey, tune in tomorrow to MN Hockey TV as we have championships and third place youth hockey games from the Edina Hockey Association in the O'Connor tournament. So that'll be a fun way to cap off your weekend and watching some good youth hockey action.
Well, I got started, I believe, in the late morning sometime.
Yeah, but then I think last one will end about probably 8 or 9, I think, somewhere right around there. But it's good way to see some potential future high school players as they're just getting going to play in youth hockey.
3 minutes to play here in the game. Edina leading by 7 at 8-1 as a shot knocked down in front. It's Enriquez trying to play it ahead. He played through by Morton deep into the Buffalo zone for icing. So Buffalo goes on the power play for 1:35 and counting. Morton will take the face-off against Buccini as it comes down to the near side. Is Buccini able to drop it back to Jake? Now Tyler with it. One-time blast end up out of play from Tyler Buccini with 2:07 to go. Edina led 2-0 after the first period. 6-1 after 2. Shot saved by Hogue. Rebound, they score. Jordan Zelenak is able to hold on to stay with his own rebound. And he has his 6th goal of the season. It's 8-2 with 1:23 and counting to go.
Yeah, and it's looking like Edina's going to pick up their 12th win of the year. But, I mean, right there, you, as a defender, you almost you want to try to clear the zone there, but they just couldn't because the Buffalo guys were just too quick there, reacted and allowed it, gave up the rebound, and they buried it.
Enriquez with it on the near side. It's rung in deep. Under a minute to go in the game. Edina leading at 8-2. As Enriquez trying to get it down low. Back to Enriquez. It's Nolan Williams battling forward in the near side corner. 30 seconds remaining in the game. Enriquez winds up for a shot, and that just tipped wide. It might have gone off a skate. 15 seconds left in the game. Edina putting together a fantastic offensive performance. They score 8 times. And they will walk out of here with an 8-2 victory on senior night. And we'll look ahead to a tough week. They take on Wayzata on Thursday at the Pick. And then home Saturday night to close out against Minnetonka before heading into sectionals and parts unknown. Well, for John Sands, I'm Patrick Lilia. Final score once again, Edina 8 and Buffalo 2. We will catch you Tuesday night as the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights host St. Louis Park. Until then, we will catch you from an arena near you.